guys, Crystal and Shadow here, back with Medium, and this time it's Judge, Jury, and Executioner.
This was a very interesting moral dilemma. Because, one, it was a fun courtroom episode, and two, it was a very complicated one because the father was, in the jury.
Yeah.
Which, at first you might think he can't be in a jury, but how's he supposed to say that? He can't say, she's working on a case. She's not. She wasn't working on a case.
Yeah.
He only has...
He can't tell people that she's gonna dream about the case no matter what, so you better not let me on.
Exactly. There's no reason for him to not say it. And the thing is, he's not supposed to discuss it, but that doesn't mean she can't have dreams and then say to him, which is great, because think of it this way. In a realistic world, they should have done it where... Because think of it this way. He doesn't even have to disclose what case he was working on. So she could have dreamed about this case, said, I've been dreaming about this thing. And he knows, that's the case I'm working on. But I don't tell her that. And then I've got information. I can't say how I've got this information.
Well, at first, he probably wasn't going to tell her what case it was until the TV was on, and he said, no, I can't watch that.
That's true. He was an idiot. But what was he supposed to do?
Well, he can't watch it.
He should have just turned the TV off instead of making a fuss.
True.
Oh, well. But it was interesting to have him involved in the plot.
Yeah, definitely.
It was interesting to have him involved in the plot, and it was an interesting plot, and it was nice to have a courtroom episode. I think it's also the first courtroom episode that doesn't involve Mr. Watt. It involves some other lady as the defense attorney.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I mean, it was fun to see an episode from the jury's perspective, which is always interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Other people hate the jury. I've always wanted to be on it. I've always wanted to be summoned to be on a jury.
Yeah.
All you have to do to be summoned on a jury, because in Australia they determine the jury just by pulling a random name off the electorate roll, which we're both on, by the way.
Okay.
So any time in your life you could be pulled onto the jury.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But they would assess if you're correct for the jury, because they would assess it. Then they might, and then you don't even know if you'll be picked for the jury, because then they walk you out, and then both sides of the party can just randomly say, no, not you. Don't have to give a reason. They just say, no, not that guy.
The deadheads.
Yes, basically, yes.
They taught us that in episode 2.
And then if you do get picked, you have to be there, no matter what. You need a really, really, really good excuse to get out of it.
I've got COVID.
That's a good question. How does being on the jury, do they make the jury socially distanced? Is the jury just all... That's a really good... How are they doing things right now?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But that point aside...
Aside from that, what other excuses are there?
You'd need a really good excuse, and work won't cut it. Basically, they compensate you. They determine what your hours are, and they pay you while you're off work. Yeah.
What if somebody is picked on the jury, but okay, so it can take a few days, right? What if in between those days, I get hit by a car and go to the hospital and I'm on bed rest?
Well, here's the thing. Juries don't always have the exact right amount. They prefer to have an even amount, but they do prefer, if the case is a larger case, they do pick a larger jury because they know it could go on longer and there's always a risk something could happen. Not necessarily something that horrible, but something can happen. Jury members are known to fall off. It's rare, but it does happen. So here, a jury isn't, I don't know if in America, but in Australia, a jury isn't always necessarily 12. It could be 8, 10, 12, 14. It depends. They will pick a number based on how substantial they think the case may be. If it's larger, then they will pick one, because cases can go on for weeks.
Yeah.
And in those weeks, you got to keep going to jury duty. You can't discuss the case. You're not supposed to study the case, which could be very frustrating.
What about work? What about getting paid?
I just told you they compensate you.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, they compensate.
You're all excused for that, and you can't take time off from work no matter what, unless it's really important. But that's the thing. So, yeah, and juries can go on for weeks, so while you're there, you can't do it, you can't research anything, you can't discuss it, which is very frustrating in this day and age, because you can't, it'd be very difficult. You're not supposed to research it, but imagine a day and age, I'm always on Facebook and Twitter.
It recommends you a news article.
It doesn't recommend me a news article. I follow all the news pages. What am I supposed to do? Unfollow it? Stay off social media?
I guess so.
How does that work in this day and age? I mean, it does work. You're not supposed to research it, but I'm sure some people do anyway. Because that's the thing. You're supposed to stay in startle. But let's face it, I'm sure every jury member goes home and say, hey, this is what happened today.
Yeah.
You know it happens.
Mm.
But yeah, it was fun to watch and it was fun to see. And I enjoyed the courtroom episodes and they took a nice take with it by focusing on the jury and focusing it on him.
Yeah, and because of that, in the end, officially, he got away with it.
He got away with it, but then he was killed.
Mm. But,
Which, that's how the title ties in because it connects it to the father who killed him.
yeah, but even if the father didn't kill him, surely once they discovered the body of the wife...
They would have reopened the case.
Yeah.
They would have, yes.
Yeah, so the father didn't need to kill him. He would have definitely gotten sent to prison for a long time for murdering his wife.
Now the father goes to prison.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess the father just took matters into his own hands, like, yeah, prison's not enough punishment for murdering my baby, he needs to die.
True, which was foreshadowed in the dream she had right before they found the body.
Yeah, they saw the husband.
It's almost like her dream triggered a new dream, because her dream triggers a new timeline where she now knows about the body, so they're going to go find it, and then immediately after that, she has a dream about him being killed.
Yeah. Plus, the dream at the very beginning was interesting.
Oh, yeah, well, that's all about the money, though, and the guy was in the dream.
Yeah, it's all just bringing up the question of what are you willing to do for a lot of money?
Yeah. Well, still, it was an interesting one. I'm going to give it another 8.5.
I'll just give it an 8, but that's good enough.
This is an enjoyable episode, and this was an enjoyable episode, and yeah. It's like I always say, it's hard to figure out what to do with these episodes, because again, most of them are episodic, but I like that the father was brought into things, because, you know, I don't like that every episode it's separate. It's like, okay, she's off doing her own thing at work, he's got his own thing, the kids might be involved, but I like episodes where they start to get more involved.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they start to have more connections and have the characters interact with each other, because they've barely interacted. But I suppose we'll have to see if things come about it. We've got plenty of time. But I suppose that's it.
Yep.
We'll see you next time for more Medium and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.